What up? This is Robert Ory.
Ory, three-pointer. Buries it!
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Ory for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Ory from downtown.
All right. Let's call it 158. It's the Big Shot Bob Pod. That's B-Dog, Brandon Harper. I'm Rob Jenners. Of course, the headliner here. Final Four alumni. 7-time NBA champion. Robert Ory. Well, you got to go to the Final Four. Well, you didn't go to the Final Four. You got to go to the Sweet 16. Did you go to the Elite Eight game?
I went to the Elite Eight.
So you ended up going.
Elite Eight I went.
Did you go? Okay, that was the only one you went to then.
Yeah, just the Elite Eight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but
Sweet 16, Elite Eight. Yeah.
You got to see Alabama advance to the Final Four.
It was a shocker. You know, I thought North Carolina would beat them, but barely. But that got flipped because you had a couple of guys that normally don't step up to step up, and that's what you have to as a team. That's what's going to have to happen. Your stars are going to be stars, but you need other guys to step up and do things that are extraordinary, so to say.
Sure. Well, they did it, man.
But that's in any sport, I think. That's the thing that says it's in any sport.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
did you guys watch?
Yeah, watched a lot of it this weekend. I watched most of the Iowa LSU game last night.
Me too. I watched all of that.
I watched both of those games.
I think a lot of people watched that game last night.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see if it was going to get chippy, and it didn't for the most part.
Mm-mm.
You know, it was contested, highly contested, a lot of emotions and stuff. But I thought for a second that game was going to get a little chippier than it got, and it didn't. So, and Caitlin Clark though last night was freaking. She was unstoppable.
At second
41 points.
Yeah, I mean, I looked down at one point and she had 37. I was like, holy crap. Like, I didn't even realize she was wrapping up.
Let me just say this. If I play Caitlin Clark, I'm going to have a person that's going to face guard him. Like, you don't care about nothing but her.
That's it.
You don't care. You throw all your defensive schemes, and we just going to send her right. We're going to send her right.
Yeah.
You know, because if she goes left, she's like a 90% three-point shooter. She goes right, she's like a 70%. I take the 70 over the 90. That's just how good this young lady is. But I thought the only game that would get chippy if South Carolina and LSU met each other again. But the NCAA is very smart. They put them in two different brackets, or two different sides. So, but yeah, it's gonna be. These are some good Final Four games. I'm so happy for NC State. You know, both the men's
and the women's. Yeah. And dude, DJ Burns for NC State, dude, that guy is he's a side of beef, man. That dude is big, and he got it done. He got it done against Duke.
Duke.
I mean, every time you turn around, he was hitting shots in the paint, from the corner. I mean, he was just knocking stuff down.
Yeah, he's getting apparently he's getting looks from NFL scouts. The report is that. But my thing is, when or if has he ever played football?
I think he has.
When was the last? See, here's the thing, and this is
high school.
I get it. Here's the thing. I understand he's what? What is he? 6'7", 6'8"?
They say 6'8".
275, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dog, I get that he looks like a football player, but if you ain't put on them pads and you ain't laced up that chin strap in quite some time, I don't care how big you are, because dudes who've been doing this, they will humble you on their football field. I understand he a force on their basketball floor, and he is. He a big boy.
Yeah.
But we got don't.
But here's the thing: we don't know what position he's going to play. You know, is he going to be a tight end?
No.
Because you think about it, it's like 5 tight ends that didn't play college football but play basketball, and then they say, "Okay, I'm not making it to the NBA. Let me go over here and try my skill set at basketball." So if he put him at a tight end, it's a different story. Or it might be just put him as
He's too big to be a tight end.
Why is he too big?
He's 275, 280.
What? That ain't got to do with anything.
In the league today as a tight end?
Hey, all he got to do is just do 3 yards and out. We're gonna throw it till you get down.
Man, if that man ain't doing nothing but being on that, he got two positions he can play. He either gonna be on that old line or he gonna be on that defensive line. One of the two.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Don't go anywhere near a skill position.
But hey, I've been asked this question a lot of times by people. That's like, do you think he'll make it to the NBA? I don't think he'll make it to the NBA. He has the offensive skill set to be in the NBA, but he doesn't have the defensive skill set. And that's what a lot of people forget. The bigs, even though they're kind of a dying breed in the NBA, but you still got to play some type of defense.
You don't think he's good for some points off the bench for somebody, though?
No, because he's gonna score 6, but gonna give up 12. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so it's a big. You can't have that.
Okay.
And I know you're probably saying there's a lot of guys that like that in the NBA as far as guards and stuff, but it's a different league now. Bigs are obsolete.
Yeah. What about what's his name? Zach Edey?
He's going to the league just for it because he's that's what is it 7'4"?
7'4".
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, that's a big.
We got this post game from him after the Purdue win. Let me see if I have it. I do.
Unbelievable performance by this team, but by you specifically. What was your mentality in this game?
They thought they knew us, man. They thought they knew what we had in our hearts. I promise you they didn't. We're fucking winners. That's what we do.
On live TV. We're effing winners, man. That's what we do. Got him on live TV. And then there's all this video going viral, too, of him, let's say allegedly intoxicated at a, looks like a sorority house or something, walking into a room with a young girl. I was like, okay, slow down. But he's up to number 14 on ESPN's draft board now. And this is after, by the way, there wasn't a whole lot of talk about him. I've heard a lot of people say he doesn't really have a shot in the NBA.
He has a shot just because he's big. You think about it, like we talked about this earlier. Let's say if you got a chance to win a championship in the East or the West, and you got Jokic, go out there and foul him, contest some shots, because there's one thing you can't teach in that size. And when you got size like that, and don't get me wrong, he can develop into a different type of player. He's gonna get drafted because he's gonna be a great project player for someone because he has the size, he has a nice little touch, he can make some free throws. So he has a shot. I think he has a better shot than DJ Burns because DJ Burns is just average height.
Yeah, it's a place for him. Just because he's 7'4", and defensively, if he can shift the floor and turn the floor upside down defensively and alter shots and block shots, he may not be a starting center in this league, whatever a starting center is, quote unquote. But yeah, he's gonna get some run because some team is gonna look at him because when you're a big body like that, especially when you got a guy like Wemby in the league now, and seeing what you could. Obviously, Wemby is a freak of nature and with his handles and his quickness and things like that, but having a big body there that can kind of challenge some of these guys, he gonna get some looks.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it's like if this was 20 years ago, 15 years ago, he would top 5 pick.
Oh, easy. But we talked about this last week, though. Who's even on the draft board? I've seen a lot of people this week going, this might be one of the weakest NBA drafts we've had in a while.
Yeah.
When Zach Edey is topping out your draft board? What? What?
Hey, let me just say this. UConn will have 3 players in the top 10.
Easily, right? Easily.
Yeah.
With the way they're playing? Holy crap.
Yeah. This is just, the draft is getting so watered down because guys are just leaving early and guys are leaving too soon. It's just so many things that these guys need to work on. And that's why, they look at the NBA, it's like, okay, this league is just turning into AAU, professional AAU.
Yeah. That's getting there. That's getting there. I hope, though, we get some good Final Four games this weekend, man. Because if it's been anything like it, I'm pulling for NC State. I'm not going to lie.
Me too.
They've just been to watch the way that they played against Duke. Damn, I want to see NC State get there. But I don't know. We'll see, man. UConn's going to be a beast to get past for anybody. And you got UConn. Y'all got UConn. NC State's got Zach Edey and Purdue. So
yeah,
we'll see.
That's I'm not going to lie. I want to see this matchup. I want to see Burns versus Edey, because now you got a guy who nobody can stop because his post moves, his touch, meaning Burns around the basket, is incredible. And how effective will he be against someone with size? When I say size, I mean height. So I'm excited for that matchup.
What did you guys make of the LeBron comments this week? This got a lot of tread. They play you the clip. And I don't think this was really breaking news, but for some reason, this got a lot of tread this week. This was after he put up 41. Somebody had asked him, how much more you got left in the league? How much longer do you think you're going to play?
Yeah, not very long. Not very long. I'm on the other side, obviously at a hill, so I'm not going to play another 21 years. That's for damn sure, but not very long. I don't know when that door will close as far as when I retire, but I don't have much time left.
I don't have much time left. I don't think that was breaking news. Dude's been playing in the league for 21 years.
I know, right?
But that got a lot of tread. Everything to LeBron's career is nearing its end.
I think if he stops having fun, and I don't think he's going to try to make the transition to another team, because when you have a legacy like him, you just want to keep going from team to team. He's been on what I was going to say 4, but it's really 3 teams. But stopping Cleveland twice. Yeah. You don't want to keep moving, because when you talk about the greats, it's all the greats that have stayed in one position. Even though MJ went to the Wizards for a minute, but you talk about Dirk, Tim, Kobe. These guys had a long tenure at one team and was very successful on one team, and nobody ever says anything bad about those guys. Because they all did it in one spot. So I think LeBron, this is his last stop. I don't think he's going to go anywhere, and everybody knows. Think about it. He's been in the league longer than anybody has ever done this thing, and has been at a level like nobody else has been, and he's been successful at it also. You think about all the guys who are going into their 20th year, they weren't playing this type of minutes. They weren't putting up these type of numbers.
Oh, no.
He's just been great for the game.
For what it's worth, before we continue to talk about this, he did surpass Michael Jordan this week with the most 30-point games in NBA history. He's got 672 of them. Jordan did 671. Wilt had 557. But I mean, like you said, Rob, 21 years in the league. What does that do physically to you? Because there has to come a point too for LeBron. He's in great shape. He's always taking good care of his body. We've talked about that. The grind has to get old after a while. Like, can you just talk about the NBA grind? Not even like what it does to you physically, but like the grind itself. It's 8-9 months of the year where it's nonstop.
The mental grind, getting up. Because there's so many days where you don't even get hurt. You're feeling great. And all of a sudden, that one morning you get out of bed, everything is aching, your feet, your back. It's hard to get everything going. And that's the mental part, because do you want to keep going through this physical pain? You enjoy it. You enjoy it to the utmost by going out there and being with your comrades, you playing and having fun, all the things that come along with being in the NBA. But it's the pain, man. It's the pain. The pain of waking up in the morning, the pain of like, okay, I got to lace them up one more time in this cold ass city on a back-to-back, 4 and 5 nights. And it's just hard.
On a plane at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It's missing your family. Like, dude.
The physical part is the easy part. It's the mental part. And if you watch a lot of LeBron's interviews, he always mentions keeping his mind right and keeping his mental right. Because if your mind and your mental is good, it can overshadow the little nagging injuries that make you want to say, boss, I'm out tonight. So it's the grind of the mental part is the hardest part ever. Because that's what made me want to retire, because I stopped having fun. I stopped being nervous. And when you stop having fun and stop being nervous, you can't pull energy from anywhere else to play the game. You just out there like
you start hip checking Steve Nash into the scores table.
You just start floundering in the wind.
I think they need to stop asking him. Mm-hmm. Just leave it alone. Like, and I think it only gained traction because he actually gave a thorough answer.
Yeah.
Like, because usually, stuff like this at this point in time, if you ask LeBron any type of variation of the retirement question or when is the end, I expect him to be like, I don't know. It's the end when it's the end. And then that wouldn't have been, I don't know if that would have gotten the traction it did. But the fact that it did get is because he did give an answer. Look, we all know LeBron at the end. What the end looks like, we don't know.
Yeah.
I just think we just got to enjoy him for the fact that he's still here. It's like it's almost kind of like people are waiting on him to leave. With the question continuing to come up. It's like, why, you want him gone? I think you're going to miss him when he's gone. So I think you just might need to enjoy him while he's still here.
Yeah.
But it's like that question after all when is going to be the end? When is the end? Why are you trying to end the man? So he still loves the game. He still is in great shape. He's still playing at a high level. The end will happen when the end will happen.
I think it's because he's at a point where not many players get to, in the sense of the amount of years he's played in the league, his age. That's the storyline now for him. Because he's still an amazing player. He's not playing at an MVP level. So the story isn't that LeBron's going to win an MVP. The story is always, can he get another title? And now let me ask you this. If we live on some planet where the Lakers go on a run this year and they win a ring, do you think he hangs it up?
I would. But
Yeah, I can see that.
he ain't.
You don't think so?
Because I don't think so. I think he'll sit back and says, okay, I'm going to take half of next year off to save my body so I can, try to preserve it so I can play 1 year with my son wherever he goes. I think that if he wins the championship, he's going to put his body in preserve mode and then try to play 1 year with Bronny if Bronny makes it to the league, So think about it. That'd be the first time ever. And Bron likes being the first at a lot of things.
Yeah.
Leave that man alone.
I would ride, but still, I'd ride off, man. If you win that title, ride off, man. Let the credits roll, deuces, and be gone, man. Enjoy it.
Come back, Shane.
Yeah, exactly right. I always think it's a bad analogy because they're different players, different sports entirely. But I always think of John Elway. When John Elway won that title in Denver, when he was at the back end of his career, I was like, hang him up. You're done. You got over the hump. You finally got your ring. Dude comes back to try and do it again, and then shockingly, Denver goes on a run and wins the second one. At which point he threw up the deuces and he rode off. But like for me, it's like, man, if you're at the back end of your career and you win that ring, and you're tired. It's like you just talked about, Rob. It's a grind. You're mentally exhausted. You're physically exhausted. Your body's starting to just go, hey man, can we take the night off? Ride off, man. Just ride off. If you win that title, ride off.
Hey, after my 7th championship, I tried to ride off, but hey, we ain't paying you. Like, I got 1 more year in my contract. I'm coming back.
I'm good.
I got 1 more year. I'm coming back.
I got to catch a check.
If you pay me to stay at home, I'll stay at home. But I'm coming back to get that last paycheck.
Good on you, man. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit just because we're talking about the Lakers. I'm going to go ahead and throw my hand up and say, I got to eat some crow here.
Uh-oh.
At the very beginning of the season, we asked you, how many games will Anthony Davis play? And you said, I fully expect him to play every game, but he's got to play at least 70. And I think that I laughed harder at that than I have at most things that have come up on this show.
I think Harp did too.
And here we are. Anthony Davis has started 70 games for the Lakers this season. And he fully expects to play out, even though he's got, I think it's his wrist or something's bugging him. He said, no, I'm good. I'm gonna play through. And you very well may be you were right, man. I got to eat some crow. You were 100% right. He did not waver much this year. We didn't see a lot of what we've seen in the past, probably 3-4 years from Anthony Davis. He was a solid piece this year. Played 70 games.
And you think about it, it is a travesty that the NBA is not has him as a defensive player of the year, and people have the Stifle Tower and Wembanyama ahead of him. Think about this. They talk about his winning percentage as a team is not good. Hell, what do you think Wembanyama? They're the 3rd or 4th worst team in basketball, but yet you got him in front of AD.
Yeah.
And then you look at Stifle Tower. He can't even play in the playoffs because he gets exploited on the defensive end
constantly.
But he's your defensive player of the year. The NBA needs to wake up and understand that it's not just because you blocking shots. You're supposed to block shots. You're 7'5". When people go on the challenge, you're supposed to block shot. Now get on the perimeter and guard a guy like an AD, and then block shots, then get a steal, and then show it. But I going back to AD though, I always look at guys how they approach the game from jump, how they approach their summer. You think about a couple of years ago when everybody was talking about Luka Doncic being, MVP. He came in a little fluffy. You talk about when the year when AD came in, his back was hurting him from jump. He came in a little fluffy. And y'all wonder why LeBron has had career he's had, because the offseason is where you prepare for the season. And I think this was one of the seasons where AD prepared for the season, got his body right, and from jump, he was ready to go. And that's why I think he's been able to play the games that he's played this season.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think I was going to see it. Not because I didn't want to.
Oh, no, it wasn't a matter of want to. It was just I didn't think it was going to happen. Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him, even for working through certain things that could have kept him out longer in the past. And I'm proud of him working through a lot of those things and fighting through some of those things. And hey, it's a big reason why the Lakers have been able to, keep themselves playing worthy at least. So, I'm proud to see, AD continue to, to stay healthy. I never thought 70 was going to be the number. I'm just going to be honest.
No way. No way.
All right. Give us the breaking news, man, because I know you always know the breaking news.
I don't have nothing right now.
News? What, is there something going on?
Rick Pitino has resigned from his position due to some unfortunate circumstances.
Is that all it says, is unfortunate circumstances?
Well, yeah, my wife just sent me that, and I was like, she sent it, I'm like,
Yeah, all right.
He has been a little crazy up there in the St. John's uniform, talking crazy about his players and stuff. Yeah. So, yeah. But
I didn't know how much longer he was going to be up there no way.
Yeah, so. I mean, we talk about end of the line for people.
That's the end of the line.
Pitino's been riding that end of the line storyline for quite a while. I mean, but they skipped. I think they sat out of the NIT this year.
Yeah.
So that
but it also could be an April Fool's joke. I know it's April 2nd, but
it very well could be. Oh, it very well could be. Mm-hmm. I will tell you the one I saw online this week that made me fucking laugh out loud. Speaking of April Fool's jokes, then we'll get back to other nonsense. Was some girl put a cardboard sign in the back of the car that said, "Beep at my mom and flip her off. April Fool's prank." And the mom did notes on the back of the car. And then it's like 2 minutes of this mom just losing her mind because everybody's driving by her, beeping at her and flipping her off. And she's freaking out. She doesn't know what the hell's going on. It is hilarious. I will repost it at some point if you guys want to watch it. But
please so her daughter's in the car filming her?
Her daughter's in the car and she's kind of got her phone. She's holding it and the mom can't see her filming her. And the mom's just losing her mind because everybody, she's like, that's like the 30th person that's beeped and flipped me off. What the F is going on? She's rolling the window down and yelling at people. Oh, it's freaking hilarious. It's so funny. And it's like, dude, she's wrong for that, but that was funny.
Nah, I assume she found out when they got back home or got wherever they were going.
She must have, yeah. The video cuts off before she gets home, but hang on. I think I pulled like about a minute of it. Let me see if I can find it real quick because it's so good because the mom is like such a character. Yeah, here you go. The mom is such a character. She has no clue why people are flipping her off.
That guy just gave me the goddamn finger. What did I do wrong, jerk ass? What the Christ? That's not the fourth person already. That's so weird. Jesus God. The hell? Why is everyone honking? I have no idea. Goof, I'll fucking honk at him. Fuck you. How about that? How about that, goof face? The fuck did I do? Idiot.
It's so weird.
What the hell? Oh my God, another guy. What the frig is going on today? Honest to God. Okay, buddy. Fuck you. Fuck you. What the Christ did I do? I'm on the speed limit. Go around me then, you jerk. Go around. Honest to God. Hey, I'm getting all nerved out here today. I can't believe this. That's about the 10th person. there goes somebody else. You've got to be damn well kidding me. Fuck off, lady! Fuck off!
Oh, man.
Why is everybody laughing at me? Bizarro day. I gotta get home. Maybe the
Bizarro day. I can't believe she said that.
Something's going on and they're trying to tell us. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm going home. That's it. Forget it. Forget it.
Just so good, man. Such a good April Fool's prank.
That's crazy.
Good on that girl, man. That was funny as hell.
The mom is funny though. The mom, the thing she was saying,
she kept saying, she's like cussing, and calling everybody a goofball.
What is this, Bizarro World?
Goofball? Yeah, Bizarro World. Yeah, no, the mom's entertainment, man. The mom's just straight entertainment.
All right. Please tell everybody who Bizarro is, in case they don't know.
I think everybody knows who Bizarro is, right?
Let's find out. Harp, you know who Bizarro is?
I don't think so.
See, that's an old head thing.
I guess so. Yeah. Okay. So in Superman, there was like a clone of Superman that was like everything about him but backwards. So it was like the S was backwards, and he was like kind of ugly and broken and like white and blue. He was like a monster, and he was supposed to be a clone of Superman. So he had all of Superman's powers, but his name was Bizarro. And he was basically the exact opposite of everything that Superman was. So when you say Bizarro, you've probably heard that before. That comes from Superman comics.
Bizarro. It's been flipped.
Yeah. Which, if you've ever seen the Bizarro episode of Seinfeld, is hilarious. Where Elaine,
I've never seen that one.
Elaine becomes friends with like a different group of 3 people who are very like nice and cordial, and like instead of a postman that lives down the hall, it's a FedEx guy. Like it's just and
don't they pass each other in the hallway?
Yeah, they come up to each other in the street, and all 3 of them are like staring at each other like it's looking in a mirror. Like it's just very funny. Is Embiid gonna play this week?
Looks like it.
Sixers say that Embiid's anticipated to make his return to the court this week, possibly as early as tonight against OKC. He's been sidelined since January 30th with torn meniscus. He was given a recovery time of 6 to 8 weeks. He's about at that 8-week mark. Do you think it's worth getting him back out there before the postseason, get him some time, or do you think it'd be better if they just let him rest up for the playoffs?
I think, if you look at this team, they have a good chance to make some noise in the East. And I think you have to put Embiid out there to knock some of that rust off.
Okay.
Because if you don't, when you bigs like that and the way he moves, you got to make sure he's 100% healthy. That whatever happened in that knee is going to hold up. Because sometimes you after playing, hard and the adrenaline, the knee will swell up. And all these other things can happen. So that's going to be the biggest key for them to see how that knee reacts after a couple of games.
Okay. Yeah, because they've been plummeting.
Big time.
And
ever since he was out.
In order to maintain whatever playoff spots they have and, get some momentum going into the playoffs, they're going to need him, and it's tough because as a big man with his knee injury and knee injury history, it is, we talk about AD, but, Joel Embiid is, he's a guy every year where you don't know, it's either a knee or something that's going to keep him out for a certain period of time. And everything rides on him when it comes to the Sixers.
Well, early on, he was having an MVP caliber season.
Yeah.
Was very much at the top of that conversation until he got hurt.
Yeah.
So, all right. I was always wondering. I figured you figure you got to get the rust off him a little. Get him out there, let him play, see how he feels, see how he responds. Yeah. But, part of me is like, well, maybe you hold him for the postseason. And it's like, surprise! I'm like, what? Yeah. But no, you got to get him out there.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he do this one time before? Where he was hurt and came back and got hurt again.
Yep.
Because he wasn't 100% healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I believe so.
And it's like when you're a guy of that size and you weigh that much, that's a lot of stress on your ankles and knees and feet. So hopefully he can come back and be back to MVP Embiid.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Maybe tonight. I did want to ask you a couple more things. We're going to get to Big Shot of the Week. And by the way, we're playing it by request. Black crime or white crime? Just had a bunch of people going, you guys haven't played Black Crime, White Crime recently. All right. Bring it back. Back this week, Black Crime or White Crime. Did Draymond Green destroy the Warriors dynasty? This was from ESPN's Seth Greenberg this week. Quote, you talk about the dynasty of the Golden State Warriors. It's over. It's done. The coach who created it is in that locker room, has to take ownership of what's going on. Don't play the dude. He's absolutely killing your culture, your identity, and basically everything that you built. How do we feel about?
I don't know how I feel about the word destroy, because everything was, because part of who Draymond is what helped made the Warrior culture when it came to being the defensive anchor, when it came to being the engine to that vehicle, when it just came to being the guy that kind of got everybody going and just kind of inspired everybody. The only problem is a lot of that has gone to his head and it's gone out of control. Now, I do think Steve Kerr and everybody has some blame in this. I don't know if it's the thing that ended the dynasty, because you got to also take into consideration Klay's injury history. Like the injuries, the ACL, the Achilles, and all those things that have affected him, that ends a lot of your, that's sometimes the beginning of the end of a lot of the run that you had. Mm-hmm. And then plus the Draymond antics and getting kicked out and doing all these other things. But I don't think that's the core. I don't think that's the reason for it. I don't think that's the only reason. I think there are a lot of other factors that led to it being the end of the dynasty. And plus everybody's getting older. Yeah. It's age.
Yeah. I think with Draymond, I blame, I'm going to start at the top. I blame Adam. I blame the refs. When I say the organization, that includes everybody within the organization, from staff, coaches, because you kept letting him be Draymond. The way he talks to officials, the things he does on the court, you never reined him in. And now you add that with him thinking that he's invincible, he can say what he wants to say and do what he want to do. Add that to losing. When you're in a situation where you're not used to losing, that's even more frustration. So now these frustrations are added to that, where you don't make him accountable for his actions on the court and the way he speaks to officials. Now he's become this animal you cannot stop. And his carryover. You can go back to the game of the night where you get thrown out in the first quarter.
Yeah, 4 minutes
and there wasn't even a play involving you.
No, it was him barking at the official.
Yeah, and it's like right there, and I applaud the refs for, I'm nipping this shit in the bud. Boop, boop, get out of here.
Yeah.
And if they'd have been doing that early on, let's say 3 years ago, we wouldn't have this situation now, because, after a while, him getting tossed for so many games, Steph, Clay, Steve, even when Bob was there, we're like, yo, man, you need to calm the fuck down. And I think that once you let that beast out the cage, which is out the cage now, there's no putting it back. And he is what he is. But I agree with B. It's like he was a part of the culture who made them who they are. But as you get old, it happened to the Lakers. It happened to the Celtics. It happened to the Spurs. It happened to all these teams who win like 4 and 5 championships or go to the championships so many times. They started to decay just because their bodies have been beat up from the long time of playing throughout a season. Because you end in May? Season starts up in October. You don't have time to let that body heal and rest up. And so for me, it wasn't Draymond. It's just time. It's a part. Draymond had a little bit to do with it, but he also had a lot to do with them winning it. So it's just the time that everybody's breaking down. And when you're good, you forget. You don't get no players because you have nobody that you can draft to add to that dynasty. And the players you did draft were bust. Yeah. So not saying the ones that are on the team now, but the ones like, they had to ship on because they were number one picks.
Yeah. Couple things there. One, I think when you're good, to your point, Rob, you have this idea in your head that you're going to continue to be good. And then when that starts to unravel on you, you don't know how to get your hands around that. I don't necessarily agree with you in blaming Adam, because this starts with Steve Kerr. Because the shit we saw at practice with Jordan Poole before the season started a couple years ago, that's a Steve Kerr thing. That is happening in your practice, in your facility with your guys. You have got to find a way to get your arms around him and reel him in. And if he's not, then you have to be able to, you can't always be the cool parent. sometimes you got to be the asshole. And I don't feel like Steve Kerr ever tried to be the asshole with Draymond Green. I feel like he always tried to be the cool dad. He was always trying to, hey, man, why don't you just calm that down a little bit? Why don't you just back that off a little bit? And it's like, sometimes you got to ground him, man. Sometimes you got to take his phone and pull the TV out the wall. My dad did that to me plenty of times when I was a kid. and tell him, look, you're grounded. Sorry, you ain't playing. You're going to sit. Until you get this right, you're going to sit. And either you're going to play nice or you're not going to play. And I don't I think so much of what we see with him with the officials comes from the fact that he's got no discipline at home, right? So he's going to act out at school. It's the child analogy I'm drawing here, but it works for me. It starts with Steve Kerr, and I don't think, and I love Coach Kerr, but I don't think Steve's ever really gotten a handle on Draymond Green.
Yeah, but I still think though, if you go back before that, let's say, even if, I guarantee you, if David was still alive and as head of the commission, the way he interacts with officials would have been nipped in the bud.
True.
Now that and
honestly, I think David would have gone to Steve and been like, "Listen, man,
it's a carryover.
You get a hold of this."
Yeah, because I think because he's able to do that with officials, it carries over into practice. Because he's able to do that in practice, it carries officials. And I think they two coincide. But I just think as a whole, this is your league. Your team plays a lot on national TV. Now, Draymond is a very influential person when it comes to people watching him the way he plays. Nip it in the bud. You like the refs before the game says, "Yo," you go over to the huddle and say, "Yo, Draymond, we don't want to hear shit out of you tonight. If you don't like it, we toss you. Steve, handle it." And that's what a lot of coaches do. They did that to Rasheed Wallace. They did that to Dennis Rodman. The refs will go up to the coaches and to the players and say, "Hey, nip this shit in the bud. Are we not having a night? Oh, he's gone." Mm-hmm. And it had been handled like that. But they've never done that, to my knowledge. And they just say, "Okay, let him be who he is."
Yeah. And I don't think he's destroying the dynasty of the Warriors, though. Mm-hmm. If anything, he hurts his own legacy.
Yeah.
You're on pace to break Rasheed's ejection record. That's on you, man. That ain't on Steph. They don't on Clay's injuries. They're all the things that we just broke down as to why the Warriors aren't the Warriors that they used to be. I don't think it hurts their dynasty. You can't look back and go, "Oh, yeah, and everything they built." No, man, there's a million factors, but Draymond's hurting nobody but Draymond Green right now. And I don't think he cares.
The dynasty was crumbling before that.
Right, but Draymond's got media opportunities. He's probably going to be on TNT. He's got a podcast. Life after basketball is already very much on his mind. I don't think he even cares at this point.
Well, at this point, it's no point in – he looks at it from the standpoint of there's no point in changing because I've gotten this far with it. People talk about the one thing that really sealed it is when the Warriors decided to give him that 4-year, $100 million contract.
100%.
And wanting to keep the core together and saying, you know what? Obviously, he's been a very big piece to the success of this organization, which is very true. And they decided to say, well, we feel as though what he's been to this organization when it comes to the winning weighs more than the antics. Mm-hmm. And so
he was rewarded. He was rewarded for the way he played. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Speaking of rewarded, Paul George is sneaking up on the end of his deal. And there's a lot of buzz about this, too. Now, there's some – I put this in quotes because this is one of the funnier quotes I've seen in a while. There's some, quote, informed speculation. What the hell is informed speculation? That Paul George is going to re-sign with the Clippers, despite reports earlier in the week and late last week that the Clippers were unwilling to meet his contract expectations. Quote from a source, the Sixers are closely monitoring the situation, hoping the Clippers let Paul George slip away. He has a $48.8 million player option, so almost $50 million for next season, and he's going to be eligible for a 4-year contract extension with the Clippers, worth up to $221 million. He can't make that money elsewhere on a deal with a similar length, but do you think that it's the best move for him to stay put? Not just the money, but do you think it's the best move for Paul George to stay in LA?
Due to the fact that the Claw had stayed, he'd be up. And I think from what I hear is he's trying to get the same money as the Claw, and they're not matching that. And I think he doesn't go anywhere for two reasons, because they've started something special in the Clipperland. They got a good coach in Ty Lue, and they got a brand new building.
Yep.
And so these are things that Paul George probably wants to be a part of. And I think, him being an LA kid and coming back home and being, around his support group, I don't think he'll go anywhere else because is it really worth it unless you get that same contract in like Texas, playing with like a Luka Doncic or something like that, where you can. But other than that, why go to Philly? Don't go to Philly because I don't think your game would mesh with Philly because, Tobias Harris, he's not. I'm not saying he's as good as Paul George. His game doesn't mesh with Philly because he just gets in the way of the way Maxey and Embiid plays, and I don't think Paul George will mesh well with them. Either one of those, not Embiid, but either Paul George or Maxey will falter from the talent of Embiid.
He ain't going nowhere.
I didn't think
he's
so.
not going anywhere. They're not breaking that team up.
Harden's unrestricted, I think, at the end of this season.
Yeah, but Harden is a guy, I think, that's a guy that if there's anybody that's going to walk, or they'll say that, hey, yeah.
It's going to be James.
They can let him go.
Yeah.
If they desire. Now, if they want to, I don't know what type of discussions they're having with him, if any. But as far as Paul George, he ain't going nowhere. It makes too much sense for him to stay right there with the Clippers, like you said. They're building something of their own, literally, because they have their own building they're moving into next season. And to be a part of that and to be one of the two stars that kind of is the head of that ship when it comes to opening that building and being the face of that franchise. Yeah, he ain't. It just makes no sense to go anywhere else and make less money over that same 4-year span.
Yeah.
Even though them California taxes going to eat most of it.
Oh, my God,
exactly.
Man.
Hey, even though you're probably one of the richest owners in the league, but what do? You got James Harden and you got Paul George. You got two players making what, $45 million? Mm-hmm. It's where you go get the money from, man.
I mean, dude, he's got it.
I know he's going to be like the Golden State Warriors. You're going to be so far over the cap.
You're be paying that luxury tax, man.
All the owners are going to be like, yeah.
Everybody's
give us some of my money back.
Because you don't know how to spend money. Let's do Big Shot of the Week, then Black Crime or White Crime. Big Shot of the Week, honestly, this is in early contention for Big Shot of the Year for me. It's going to go to a school bus driver named Larry Farish Jr. in Louisville, Kentucky. Here's why. He's a good dude, drives a bus. All the kids love him. He's known for going above and beyond. He's got a kid on his route named Levi, who's a first grader at Englehart Elementary School. He went and picked him up one morning, and the poor kid is crying because he didn't have pajamas for Pajama Day. So Larry goes, I thought I'm going to fix this. He finishes up his route. He drops all his kids off. He goes to Family Dollar. He buys 2 pairs of pajamas, drives back to the school, pulls Levi aside, drops the pajamas on him. Kid's smiling from ear to ear, gets them all pajamaed up for Pajama Day. And the kid said in a release, when he got me the pajamas, I did a happy cry. And he didn't have to do that.
No.
Not any part of his responsibility as a bus driver. But as a guy who sees these kids every day, he felt for that kid. And he said, if it's the least I can do, and I promise you, dude, if this guy's driving buses, he ain't making big money. He just doesn't have free money to go spend on stuff just to spend it. He's probably cutting corners and scraping by as a bus driver. But he went to Family Dollar and said, 2 pairs of pajamas. I'm going to make sure this kid's got pajamas. So little small things like Pajama Day, he can just enjoy that. And, dude, humongous Big Shot of the Week to Larry Farish Jr. in Louisville, Kentucky. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, Larry. That's great. Hey, Larry, we got Pajama Day. I need some pajamas. But
I don't think
when
you don't find any pajamas for your big ass.
I know,
right?
No. You think about guys. I'm sure he had a second job to go to because, like you said, I'm sure as a bus driver you don't get paid a ton of money. You do that out of the goodness of your heart. But this was the greatness out of his heart for go out his way to help out this little Eli.
Dude, what a just a class move, man.
Very very selfless.
Yeah, it like restores my faith in humanity when I see stories like this, which is why I like doing Big Shot of the Week every week because
I love it too.
It reminds me that there's like actually people out there who give a shit about other people, and as opposed to the girl who put the "flip me off" sticker on her mom's car. just to watch her get yelled at. All right.
You sure she ain't the big shot of the week?
No, I don't know. She might be. That was pretty damn funny. She might deserve it. All right, well, let's do it. Haven't played it in a minute. We're going to find out who's a criminal. It is time for the world famous, world-renowned black crime or white crime. I have 8 stories. You know the deal. I give you a ridiculous crime. You just have to tell me if the perpetrator was Caucasian or African-American. Very simple. Story number 1. A man in Los Angeles popped behind the wheel of a Waymo driverless taxi, only to discover he could not make the car go. Instead, he heard a disembodied voice of a rep ask him to please get out of the fully automated vehicle. When he didn't do so, the rep called the police, and he was arrested for trying to steal a driverless taxi in LA.
Oh, my goodness.
Black crime or white crime?
I'm going to say black.
I want to say black, but I don't think those vehicles in black areas. I'm going to go with white.
It's black people everywhere.
Oh, wow. All right, so we have 1 white crime, 1 black crime. This was Vincent Maurice Jones.
Black.
Rule of 3 names. White guy. 33-year-old white guy. Yeah. That's
It's white?
Rob, man. That's a white man.
Wow.
Yeah.
His name was Vincent?
I know. Vincent Jones. Vincent Maurice Jones.
Maurice?
And his name is Maurice?
I know.
You sure he ain't black?
No, I saw the mugshot. He's a white guy. Saw the mugshot. I didn't know they had driverless taxis. I didn't know that was like...
Yeah.
I knew that was like there's driverless cars out there, but I didn't know you could order like a driverless taxi.
It's new. It's new into certain areas out here. There are a lot of them in San Francisco.
Have you done that? Have you done the driverless car?
I ain't trusting that shit. I barely trust my wife when she's driving. I'm kidding, people. I make my wife doesn't like to drive, so she makes me drive all the time. So the other day I made her drive. It was the best thing ever when you don't have to drive. You can play your games on your phone. You can look out the window. You can go to sleep.
It's like a whole new life.
Exactly.
It's like being let out of jail. All right, story number 2. An Amish family in Michigan went shopping at Walmart and emerged to discover, and it's a Walmart, by the way, so if you don't have to play Walmart or Waffle House with this one, emerged to discover that somebody had stolen their horse and buggy while they were in the store shopping. Luckily, a truck driver parked in the store's parking lot witnessed the theft and gave police a description of the female suspect. The unidentified 31-year-old woman faces charges of larceny and larceny of livestock, which I didn't know was a thing. So, who stole the Amish people's horse and buggy in Michigan?
I guarantee
black woman or white woman?
A black woman who just did it, said, oh shit, I'm just going to do this for the fun of it and just leave it somewhere. I'm going black woman.
Yeah, I'm going to go black woman too.
Okay, well, there you go. Point for both of you. It was a black woman, which I was like threw me when I saw this story. I was honest.
It's Michigan.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. It wasn't in Detroit. It wasn't. I mean, come on, Axel.
You just said Michigan. You didn't know what part of Michigan.
Yeah, no, just Michigan. I didn't know there were Amish folks all the way up in Michigan. So good for them.
Yeah, because you got country areas up in.
Yeah, I guess
Michigan.
you do. Yeah, I always envisioned like the Amish in like Pennsylvania. Isn't that like a big Amish?
Well, yeah,
population?
that's where. Yeah.
Yeah, and Pennsylvania and stuff. But yeah, apparently you miss them too. All right, a man is in jail in story number 3 after being caught trying to sneak into jail with drugs that he wanted to sell. He was found with 32 grams of meth after being seen cutting through a fence. The cops believe he was trying to sneak into the prison yard, through a broken window to sell the drugs. So, man caught with drugs sneaking into jail.
It's got to be the
black guy, white
person ever. Oh, I'm gonna go with a white guy.
I'm gonna go white from the standpoint that it's meth.
Meth. That's what I said too.
It's the rule of meth. Always a white guy. It never fails, man. There's never a meth story involving a black man ever. It just doesn't. It doesn't miss. All right, story number 4. A 60-year-old Florida man has been arrested for indecent exposure after he allegedly went to a nude beach holding up a sign that said, quote, "Please feel free to investigate gently." Was he lewd or just nude or both? It doesn't matter. He got arrested. So, nude beach, holding up a sign, "Please feel free to investigate gently." Black guy or white guy?
White guy.
Rob's leaning heavy on the white folk today. I don't know how I feel about it.
I've been right every time. So
I don't know how I feel about that either, but still.
This can almost go either way. I'm gonna break this up.
Okay.
I'm gonna say black.
Okay. Point 2. Robert Horry. It was a white guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many black folks you know that moved to Florida in their 80s and then add on to that, go to a nude beach? There are no black folks going to Florida to retire. You got to forget who represents Florida.
Old white people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's any
the
southern state.
The state flag's got wrinkles. I mean, come on. What are we talking about? It's a 60-year-old on the nude beach thing doesn't seem like that seems. I mean, I don't know. I've never been to a nude beach, but it seems like it's a very white person thing.
Channing Crowder and his wife go to nude beaches.
Do they? Why do you know?
Who is that?
Channing Crowder. He's part of the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark and.
Yeah, but why do you? Oh, because he said it on the podcast. They go to the nude beach.
Yeah, he said him and his wife they do stuff. They go to nude beaches.
I ain't got the confidence to go to a nude beach.
They say they go there to just watch.
That's even creepier.
That's what they say.
Just give him this little sign that says, "Please feel free to investigate gently," and see if he goes to jail. All right, story number 5. A 33-year-old police officer who had been on the force for 2 years walked into a Dick's Sporting Goods store and walked out wearing a pair of $140 shoes that she did not pay for. She was detained in her own squad car in full uniform. Black crime, white crime.
$140 for some sneakers or some shoes, yeah, in black.
In uniform. That's balls, man. That's just no one's gonna catch me because I'm in my full uniform.
I'm gonna go white.
Okay. Point 2. B-Dog Brandon Harper. It was a black lady.
Yeah. Even if it was a black man, like even if this was a man, I would have still guessed black because $140. I'm not saying white people don't spend money on shoes, but them was probably some sneakers that they've been wanting iron.
Look, the only way this was going to be a white story is if those were Skechers. Other than that, no.
And I don't know what's and then ain't no Sketch $140.
No,
so.
hell no, of course not. Yeah, I don't think I've ever spent more than $50 on a pair of shoes ever in my life. Rob, what's the most expensive pair of sneakers you ever bought?
For me or for my wife, it's a difference.
Go ahead, either one.
$1,500 for me.
$1,500? What did you buy for $1,500?
It's back in the day. This is old. They had these Pradas that was like patent leather and stuff. Like it was really nice.
Damn.
So I bought those, and it was the first time I bought like some expensive shoes. And I take that back. And then I have some Louis Vuitton shoes I just bought the other day. It was 16. I'm lying.
God
16.
bless.
16.
Man.
Yeah, but you gotta understand that's not that's NBA.
No, I know that. I know that. But
hey, but his thing is, I hadn't bought some shoes that expensive till my wife was just like, "Those look good on you. You should buy." I'm like, I ain't paying no damn $1,500 for no shoes. And I looked at the price. I'm sorry, I ain't paying no damn $1,600 for those shoes. But let me just say this: they're more comfortable in any pair of shoes I have in my arsenal than Louis Vuitton shoes. I guess for $1,600.
I would never want to wear them out though. I would never want to go anywhere in them.
I just wear them to like different events, like the Laker game, work, or I'm not just gonna wear them down. You're right. Go grocery shopping.
Grocery shopping in $1,600 Louis Vuittons. Jesus.
Right.
Harp, do you remember the most you spent on a pair of sneakers?
Yeah, it was probably about $120.
Okay.
Probably $120.
If there's some Jordans, I'm gonna come over there and choke you like Bart.
Nah, there was some. There was some 95 Air Max.
Why are you gonna choke him for buying Jordans?
I'm thinking that he spent $1,000 for Joe. You said 120.
120.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying. 1,020.
I ain't spending no grand on those shoes.
No, I ain't got $1,000 to spend.
You know how
on
many
shoes.
pair of shoes I can buy for you? You give me $1,000, I'll come back with some boxes.
Yeah, several. Yeah.
You better come back with about 10 boxes.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Story number 6. A man was charged with theft after wheeling his cart out of Walmart without paying for his items. The cart contained $1,100 worth of items, including bacon and shotgun ammunition. So, dude just goes to Walmart, fills up a cart, rolls it straight out the door. Shotgun ammunition and bacon.
When you say shotgun, I'm saying white guy. You had me with bacon with black, and you flipped me with shotgun with white.
Man.
So I'm gonna go white guy. But that bacon's weighing on me though.
No, white people like bacon.
It's always the
White people like that.
I'll eat the hell out of some bacon. Don't you do that? Yeah.
It's the shotgun ammunition for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say white.
All right, Rob, what was your final answer here?
White guy.
All right, you're both gonna get a point. That was a white guy. Yeah, that was a white guy. You try. It was like when you tried to take the electric slide from white people. Don't you do that? Don't you just claim bacon in the name of black folks? Come on now. White folks love some bacon.
What you say about the electric slide?
You see the face I gave him, right? I'm like, what the hell?
We had a conversation on the show probably about a year ago where you were like, I said the white folks love the electric slide. Don't take the electric slide from us. That's all we got. Y'all got the Dougie. Y'all got the Cupid Shuffle. Y'all got all this other shit. We got the electric slide, damn it. We hang on to it for dear life. And then you both came for me. You both came for me.
We got the electric slide too.
Yeah, no. That's ours. Don't do that. All right, story number 7. A Florida sheriff's deputy resigned after mistaking the sound of an acorn falling on the roof of his patrol vehicle for a gunshot. He proceeded to open fire on an unarmed suspect. As seen in body cam footage, thankfully no one was hit and no one was hurt. But the acorn falling on the roof of his car sounded like a gunshot. Dude pops out, opens fire.
Black, because he got PTSD.
No, actually, I'm gonna remove myself from this story because I saw it, and it was so wrong with that guy. He's like, and then the black guy that was sitting in the car said, "Man, I'm sitting in the car handcuffed." He's sitting in the car handcuffed after they've searched him 2 or 3 times, and then the dude just starts firing at the car. It was like 200 rounds or 20 rounds.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and he's just yelling at, and then he has the audacity to say, "I've been hit," when he's showing the body cam. But this was a white guy.
Yeah, it was.
You know the story then. Okay, cool.
It was a white guy. So
I thought it was one of them.
Yeah, we won't count that towards scoring, but yeah. Rob had firsthand knowledge of it, but that's dude. It was an acorn.
You have to look at this story.
Broke out. I mean, the body cam footage is insane.
Let me say this is the dude is so lucky he did not get hit. He was handcuffed with his hands behind his back in the back seat of this squad car, a SUV. You got this guy laying on the ground shooting at the SUV, and his other partner started shooting. It's just the most ridiculous thing you ever want to see. But moving on.
Moving on. All right, last story. A Florida man was arrested for driving his truck through a closed gate that was marked "Do Not Enter" straight onto the beach and subsequently right into the ocean. And he was arrested for, obviously, driving a vehicle on the beach. So, Florida man busts through the "Do Not Enter" sign, takes the truck out into the beach, gets it flooded, stuck in the ocean, and arrested. Black guy or white guy?
This is the Florida episode, huh?
It was the Florida episode today. Yeah, I didn't realize it.
I'm going to go with a white guy.
I'm going to go white.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. This is why white folks can't have nice things, man. It's like every story this week, man. Dude, the freaking nut cop, the guy driving his shit on the beach. Oh, my God.
And the guy butt-ass naked saying, handle this
gently. Handle it gently. Oh, by the way, when we talked about the Final Four, I forgot to ask, what did you and James bet? Because obviously you won that bet.
Oh, $100.
That was it?
Yeah. It was either going to be tequila and a nice cigar. We have this thing on the show called couch segments where none of us like to do. It's like at the end of the show, you have to sit down and chairs are on the couch and you talk about, the game and stuff. Nobody likes doing that because that means you have to stay an extra 20 minutes after work. So he's like, we finished the year. I'm like, James said, oh, hell no, you only got like 2 games left. No, not a good bet. So we just bet $100. So it was the funny part. During the game, James walks over to me like 6 seconds left to go. and I'm on the third row. He tries to hand me $100, and everybody's like saying, "No, don't take it." I'm like, "I'm not taking your money. Game's not over yet." I know that trick. So it was cool though. So he had to give me $100 on national TV. Oh well, on our no, I won't say national TV.
Let's say local cable.
On our show. Yeah, on our show.
Local cable.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, look, you made $100. It made $100 you didn't have, and you got to take James
back in business, Mortimer.
Yeah, we're back, Mortimer. You and James Worthy.